We've seen how to create NURBS surfaces, but let's go ahead and start refining our existing surfaces. Now, we've already refined surfaces by reshaping them, by modifying our control vertices and so on. But let's go ahead and add some detail to an object, as well as take surfaces apart and put them back together. Now, to do this, we need to understand a concept called an isoparm. So let me show you what an isoparm is. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a simple NURBS sphere. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn off my grid so we can see this a little bit better. Now, an isoparm really is just one of these lines of detail around the object. In a polygonal object, you might refer to them as edge loops. Now, we can also select isoparms as a component. So if I right-click above this, you can see we have a control vertex, which we've used before, plus a whole bunch of other ones, but the one we're looking for is isoparm. Now, when I select isoparm, what happens is I can left-click on this surface and drag, and it will take one of these vertical or horizontal levels of detail, and then I can add in my own isoparm. So when I let go of this, I get this little yellow dotted line. Now, this line really doesn't do anything. It's just a placeholder that we can use to apply other tools. So let's go ahead and do one. We're going to go ahead and insert some detail here. So we can go into surfaces. If we go down to edit NURBS surfaces, you should find insert isoparms. And when we select that, it does exactly that. It inserts an isoparm at this point. And if I right click and go into control vertex, notice how we have additional control vertices for this as well. So I could select these and scale them and really do a whole bunch of other operations. Now, isoparms do work for both the U and V direction, or the vertical and horizontal direction of a surface. So if I were to right-click above this and do isoparm and click on, say, this vertical line here, I can slide a new point of action wherever I want. So in this case, I've got my dotted line here, and then I can insert isoparms here as well. So this is just one way to use isoparms, and that's to add detail. But we also can use isoparms as a point of action, say to break surfaces apart. So let's go ahead and right-click above this again and select isoparm. And this time I'm going to drag an isoparm down, say around the bottom third of this object here. And then instead of inserting an isoparm, let's go ahead and do a surfaces detach. Now what that does is it actually breaks apart the surface at that dotted line. And if we take a look at this, you'll see we have two separate surfaces. So this is my original surface, NURBS sphere 1. And this is my second surface, and that's named detached surface 1. So as you can see, we've broken apart that surface simply by using the isoparm as the point of action. Now, in addition to detaching surfaces, we can stick them back together using a command called attach. So all I have to do is select my original surface, NURBS sphere 1, shift select my detached surface, and then do surfaces, attach. And when I do, what happens is it actually creates three surfaces. I have my original detached surface, and then I have another one called NURBS sphere attached surface 1. Very complicated name, but basically it creates a new surface here that is related to the original surfaces. So if I want to, I can move those apart, and as you can see, I can have some additional action here. So these are some of the basics of isoparms, but you can use isoparms as point of action to add detail to your surface or detach them, among many other things.